lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of Let's Play Wall Street Raider. I'm RakeM, your host. Last time out, we went from above 100 trillion down to 93.7, and I have a confession to make. It's my fault. Last episode, right at the end, we merged RakeM Insurance with INGG, another insurance company that we had just used to buy a bunch of new companies. And the mistake that I made was merging those two. If I had just taken RakeM and had him buy INGG from me, we would not be down $15 trillion. In version 7.83, the developer, Ronin Soft, made a change in how the index is calculated. And whenever a merger occurs, the index divisor is adjusted based on the number of shares that are being removed. I'm not exactly sure how that calculation works, but the bottom line is that anytime that we merge RakeM Insurance with another company, he suffers a drop in stock price and the stock index takes a drastic swing in one direction or the other. And I should say RakeM Insurance stock price, he suffers a swing. It's not always necessarily in the downward direction. I don't have a full grasp on that because we haven't done very many, and the ones that we have done, I haven't paid close enough attention. But RakeM Insurance used to be trading at $47 a share, I think it was, when he peaked. And now he's down to 35. Oh, look at that. He got all the way up to 50. So I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to take us to recover from that mistake. But all our companies are in fairly decent condition. We've got some maintenance items that we have to take care of, some problems looming on the horizon, mostly with regard to antitrust situations. We now have 8 companies or 7 companies. How many is it? 6 companies with more than a 50% market share, and GE has 63.5%. And if that wasn't bad enough, he's in an industry where all of his competitors are either out of credit or going broke. And the majority of them have a D credit rating. So his 63.5% is about to get much larger if we don't do something about it. So we have to do something about that and all these others, and we are going to tackle all of those problems today before they become a disaster. So I have updated my spreadsheet. We now have 46 plus 6, 52 companies. And if we get all of these problems tackled, we are actually going to add some more. Because we left the restaurants industry a while back and we never re-entered it, so we need to get another company in there if we can. We also have a bunch of $100 billion industries that we can enter. And both INGG and TMFI are not full up on the number of companies that they can own. TMFI has 7 or 8. And INGG has 7 or 8. So we can add 4 or 5 companies to each one of those. And if we have time today, we'll do that. I don't know that we're going to get to those, but if we do run out of stuff to do, that's what we're going to get to. All right, so let's talk about our commodities. We bought gold and silver, physical gold and silver last episode. Gold is up a little bit. Silver is up a little bit. Not anywhere close to their selling price. Our minimum price on gold to sell it is $1,600. Our minimum price on silver is $21. But our goal is to sell silver at $24 and gold at $2,400. However, the way that the commodities are working now, movement up and down is much slower and the limits are much more narrow. So $1,621 is just fine as far as I'm concerned. We also have futures of the index. And the index has dropped from above 20,000 down to below 17. So we're going to have to hold on to those for a little bit longer. They don't expire until 2026, most of them, so we do have time. So we aren't going to be looking to sell those off. But we do have one with the index sold short, so now that it's low, we need to cover those while it won't cost us very much money to get rid of them. We also have Archer Daniels Midland who has sold futures of wheat short, and when it drops, hopefully down to the $4 level, we'll cover those. We do have some companies with options, and we want to buy some more today, but we'll get into what those are when we get to them, because pretty much every one of them that has options, we've got something that we need to do for them. Okay, so that's what's going on. So let's get started at the top here. The note here on Burlington Resources is for him to sell short futures of oil now that it's up to $133 a barrel. But at this price, it's considered an extreme price, and we can only get 100 contracts at a time. So we're going to come back to him and do him once this price either comes down or goes up even higher. Because doing 100 contracts at a time, we're not going to get very much. It's not worth enough money to try to do it right now. All right, Itochu, we're going to buy options of Hagemeyer. HeartMax previously had options on Hagemeyer, made about $250 billion on them. Hagemeyer is still going up, and yet he's selling right at his stock price. So let's go to Hagemeyer. We started him with $300 billion. He's now worth $1.3 trillion, and yet he has no premium on his stock price. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Itochu buy options on him. The kicker here is whether or not we can find counterparties, but we'll deal with that if we'll deal with it. We will hope to find counterparties, but what am I doing? Did I hit? Oh, I need to sell puts and buy calls. So I need to buy calls. All right, so let's see if we can find a counterparty here. I'm going to make it 135. And this is pretty pricey. We probably can only get 1% at a time, but we'll see. Okay, so there was one company that could do it. Probably Gold Corp. Let's try 4%. Let's try 2%. And let's try 1%. All right, I increased the price to 138, and we were able to get 1 more percent because it brought the cost down below 3 billion. But even at 138, this was the only one that we could find. So we got 14%, which is better than nothing. And his price is going to go up, so we'll make money on this. At least in 2 years' time, we will. So let's see. That's all we were going to do with him. However, Hagemeyer is currently owned by a bunch of different companies. He's owned by Mitsui Marine and Fire and HeartMax. And what I want to do is I want to spread the owners, or consolidate the ownership all under Mitsui Marine and Fire. There's no reason to nest Hagemeyer, HeartMax, and Itochu now that our options experiment is over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Mitsui Marine and Fire buy this 68% from HeartMax. Oh, good. CKE withdrew its antitrust case against McDonald's. All right, so now Mitsui Marine and Fire owns 92% of Hagemeyer, and HeartMax doesn't own any of Hagemeyer. It's HeartMax. Is he not on our list? All right, let's go here. All right, so he no longer owns any stock of Hagemeyer. He still has these options. that he's making a killing on, but he no longer owns the stock. Now here's the problem with HMX is that he's considered a holding company because less than 20% of his assets are in business assets. So we've got to disperse some of this cash. All right, now I would like to keep, let's see, we just had $1 billion in net worth, so we need to get rid of about $700 billion, and that's at a minimum. So let's get rid of $900 billion, and we've got 140 going to taxes, so we only really need to get rid of $760 billion. And I think what we're going to do is an extraordinary dividend, and it will go to Mitsui Marine and Fire and to Tochu, and then we will consolidate ownership of HMX under, I think, Tokyo by way of RakeM Insurance, because RakeM Insurance has enough cash to buy HMX. So once we do this disbursement, it won't matter. Tokyo may have enough once the disbursement's done. So let's do the extraordinary dividend first. So we're going to disperse $760 billion. Okay, and now we're worth $800 billion, and we have $200 billion in assets. So we're no longer a holding company, so we can build up a premium. Now we can't buy options on HMX, unfortunately, because Goldcorp swooped in and bought the public shares. Well, we can consolidate him, and I'm just going to look and see who has the most cash, so we know who to have buy him. So Tokyo can buy him. It's going to take most of his cash to do it, but let's see how many stocks he has. He has 8. So we'll just buy those from Itochu. All right, so we still have $650 billion. And we have 93% of HMX. Goldcorp owns the other 7%. So Itochu should have a bunch of cash now because he received it from HMX in that disbursement. And we have basically 25% of our assets are in business assets. So we can hang on to this money, but we don't really need $900 billion. Of course, once we pay our taxes, we'll only have $800. Which means that we'd have a third invested here. So it takes about $600 billion to buy max on gold. So let's just disperse $200 billion, and that way when we make money on gold, we'll just disperse the excess. So let's do an extraordinary dividend for $200 billion here. And all I'm trying to do is prevent falling back into a holding company status. All right, so let's go back over to Hagemeyer and see where he stands. Oh, there's HMX right there. I don't know why I couldn't see that a minute ago. So 11.9% of his assets are business assets. So as soon as we sell off our commodities, even if we have 28% right now, even if we add another 80 billion to get us up to 50%, it's still not going to be enough. So we're going to have to disperse some money here. So as soon as we take our money out of gold, we're going to have to do an extraordinary dividend. There's some smaller ones we can pick up, but we're growing so fast. We just limit our ability to grow. We're going to keep growing at this rate. Are we still improving? Nope, it's finally in the deteriorating column. So anyway, that's what we're doing with those. We've got all of them consolidated now. The Itochu and Hagemeyer under Mitsui Marine and Fire, and the other one's under Tokyo. Okay, so that's done. Itochu and Hagemeyer. Where's Hagemeyer? Right here. Oh, Hagemeyer needs to sell its stock of Union Carbide. Union Carbide has a swap, and he's losing money, so we need to get rid of it. So that's gone. And Mitsubishi has stock of Firestone, which is in the same boat. He's losing money, so we need to sell it. Archer Daniels Midland has a swap we need to cancel. I'm just getting the easy stuff first. All right, Burlington Industries, we're going to move that from the bank over to INGG Insurance. Yum Brand's there. He's in restaurants. He can serve as our foothold. Let's go over to HP. Just need to pay off our debt and pay down our debt. Same thing with McDonald's. Up here we get to pay it off. All right, Comp de Rio. He has sold the index short. And while it's low, we want to cover it. All right, GE, we got a bunch of stuff to do. But let's just go to him and sell off those options he's got. He's got options on Total Petroleum that he sold short and he's losing money. We're going to buy those back. All right, Toyota. He needs to lower his growth rate. We need to grow negative here because the demand has turned on us. We're going to make our growth negative 10. All right, oil's gotten all the way up to 150. Now it's worth it to try to sell oil short, even at 100 contracts per. The only saving grace we have, because we are low on counterparties, oil, usually we can buy 500,000 contracts or sell short 500,000 contracts. And if we can only do, I think it's actually 1,000 at a time, the amount of money involved is pretty low per transaction. So we shouldn't have any trouble getting counterparties. Hopefully. Yeah, we can do 1,000 contracts at a time or 5,000 for an elevated or reduced price. Since we're selling it short, it'd be reduced. So we're going to sell 1,000 at a time at this higher price. Fast forward while I do this, and I'll be right back. Well, I was wrong. Not only was it possible to run out of counterparties, we succeeded in doing it. So we managed to get about 35,000 contracts. Had to reduce the amount to get these 3 sets. And then we tried to buy some more, and we got all the way down to 25 contracts, and it still couldn't find a counterparty. So that's all the oil we can possibly get at this point. And it is on the way down. So hopefully it goes down quickly and we can buy some futures, or sell off our futures and buy some physical. It's still going up. Silver's down. Gold's on the way up, and our index is way down, and our prime rate is up. So More difficulties lie ahead, obviously. Okay, so next what we need to do, now that all of our little things... Wait, did we get everything down here? Okay, so INGG, we had something that we need to do. Let's see, we just bought him and we didn't adjust any management settings. He's mediocre. So what we need to do is we need to adjust his dividend and his R&D and his growth rate. So his dividend needs to be $2.30. Right now it's only 64. We need to increase our R&D to 7% and growth rate of 1%. And we just want to reform him as much as possible, get his costs down. Still got 280 billion to spend, and we'll be looking to buy at least 2 companies, probably 4 companies that are in $100 billion industries. So let's see, we may buy some more silver. All right, but let's get to these companies with more than a 50% market share. Let's start with GE. You're not going to believe this when I show it to you, just how bad this industry is. Okay, so here's us at the top with a 62.6 whatever. Then Hitachi has a B credit rating, and everybody else, with the exception of whatever this new one is, they're just in awful shape. Okay, we got 3 going bankrupt, 2 that are on the verge of going bankrupt, and then 1 company that just entered the industry. So under the earlier versions of this game, prior to 7.8, this would be good news. This would be perfect because these guys are going to go bankrupt and my returns are going to go through the roof. But as we proved in episode 15, monopolies are not sustainable in this version of the game. And they're not sustainable in real life either, so we have got to reduce our market share somehow. Now, simply selling off the assets is not going to do anything to help us, because all that's going to do is increase everyone's share, and we would basically have to take our assets down to the same amount that this one has, which is only a third of what we have. And what we need to do is we need to acquire another company and donate our assets to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the database and search for a company whose net worth is between, let's see, 1 and 100. How about 50? There's 7 companies I can buy for 50 million or less. All right, so it doesn't matter which one; it's all going to be equally horrible. And we're only spending 50 million, so it's not really worth getting in a tizzy over. This is going to go into electronics. So which one looks like an electronics company? How about Zeiss? Okay, that's no good. He's 100% owned. How about Cadence Design? 100% public. Perfect. All right, so let's go over to GE and have him buy Cadence Design. Okay, Cadence Design is in software. What we're going to do is we're going to sell off all of these assets. And we just sold them to Real Networks. Right, now we're going to have GE donate assets to CDN. So we have $154 billion in assets. And I'm going to contribute in a full third of our assets to him. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set his management settings to 8's fine, -10, and I don't care about the dividend. I'm just going to set it to -10 here, and we're going to sell him immediately. I have no idea if that setting is even worth changing. It may be adjusted by the autopilot just as soon as we sell him. Alright, so is he the only stock that we own? Let's give 10% of it to GE Appliances. And now we'll sell it. Now, we're losing $12 billion doing this, but the downside of becoming a monopoly is much, much worse. Alright, General Motors is filed. We'll settle for 33. Ford has a 54% share. I'm going to hit no. No damages. Alright, so now we don't control him, and we only have 40%. And look at that, he increased his growth rate to 11. So let's go to the bank and freeze him so that he can't grow at 60 or whatever. Alright, so GE is down to 41%. And we already took care of his options, right? Yep. Okay. Let's see what we're going to... Oh yeah, go to the bank and freeze Cadence Design. And he's not on our list. So I guess we don't own his loan. But that brings me to another factor. We need to spend some of this cash, and it's been a while since we bought loans, and we ran out of cash a couple of times. So we may have sold off some of our business loans. So let's go and buy them back. What I'm going to do is anybody with over $1 billion in loans, with the exception of the computer player, there he is, ID 10T. I'm going to buy everybody's loan that's over $1 billion, except for that guy. All right, I'll fast forward while I'm doing that, and I'll be right back. I picked up all the ones that were $1 billion or more, plus a few extras. And before we move on, let's just go back to GE and see if we still need to grow negative. And if this one goes bankrupt, it's not a big deal. These two go bankrupt, not a big deal. Should still be under the 50% threshold. So let's grow at 1%, and the rest is fine. We don't need to grow negative anymore. So let's grow at 1%. And the long-term growth says 6, but we'll let him use up his credit or whatever cash he has. How much cash did we leave him with? I don't think we left him with very much. Yeah, he's got a loan, so he's going to make money off of his assets because his return is positive, 31%. So he can grow at 11%. He can probably grow at 20% if he wants to. So if he does, that'll drive our returns down. So we just want to grow at 1% for now. Alright, so he's done, and we can change him back to pink. Speaking of which, We only have one company now that's green, which means, green, if you're a longtime viewer, green means they have less than a 20% market share. Pink, they have between 20 and 50. Anything gray means they have more than 50%. So change him. Oh, and we got to change the font color too. There we go. All right, so let's look at Itochu next. We have 52.6. We don't necessarily need to sell off his assets. I'm concerned about all these auto companies going broke. We're going to have to take a look at those industries very quickly. So here we're growing at a -10. And a year from now, we're going to have 52.2. So we're not going down very fast. So if this trend continues, we're going to have antitrust suits for years to come. Because at only 0.4 per year, it's going to take us 5 years to get below 50%. So let's get another company and give him a bunch of assets and then sell them off. You can probably buy this one without running into government interference. We will not liquidate him, and we will donate some assets to him. We have 467 billion, and we want to give him about 5% of our assets, and then continue to grow negative. So 467,037 times 0.05 is that much. So let's give him double that, actually. Let's give him 45 billion. Let's see if that's good enough. Yep, we got 47. So let's sell him off now. We'll take a loss on that, but we'll save money on lawsuits. So 47.5 is what we have now. Right, let's go over to Ford. He's got 54%. And a bunch of motor companies are going broke. Luckily, none in this industry. We've got 2 that are in trouble, though. And this one's owned. Let's see how much is owned. You have to pay a premium. How much is he worth? All right, less than $1 billion. That's fine. We'll pay a premium on $1 billion. All right, so let's buy the public shares first. Now let's buy the private shares. Okay, we have a 54% market share, and we have 200 billion in assets. So if we give him 10% or 20 billion, that would take us down to 44. So let's just give him 18 billion. And now we'll sell him. And we're going to take a loss, but cheaper than lawsuits. Okay, and we can buy these, or at least some of these bonds back. And we'll wait for our next earnings report to buy the rest back. Okay, so we now have 48.7. And let's see if we are needing to continue to grow negative, and we do, because the demand growth rate here is -8. And this guy is growing positive, but he's losing money, number one, and number two, he's going broke. He's running out of credit. I think we froze him, although I'm not sure. No, we didn't freeze him. All right, let's go freeze General Motors. Protect him from his folly. He's being an idiot and growing in an industry that's losing money. Why do we have a company with a star next to it? We've frozen all of the companies controlled by our competitors. They're supposed to be frozen. All right, let's change the policy to unfreeze and then change it again to freeze. And that should freeze them all. Okay, so we were going to continue to grow negative, so we're done here. So let's go down to Rio. Here we're growing negative. 54.9 is what they're projecting, so we're only dropping by 0.3 per year, so we need to offload some of our assets here as well. These are owned, and the rest are too big to buy. So let's get another company from our list here, turn it into a holding company, and then donate our assets. Let's look at Cytogen. And he's bankrupt, but selling for 4 million. 42 million. Which is just fine. He's perfect. Alright, they're being offered for sale. Cytogen's going bankrupt, and Matsushita won't sell it for a 10% up markup. An asset that's going broke, and they don't want to sell it for a 10% markup. I thought for sure they would accept it. Right? Don't you think? Alright, let's have Cytogen sell his assets to Organogenesis. Alright, and now we'll have Comp de Rio donate. Let's see, let's bring our calculator back up. 122,835. Let's give him 8%. Just round it up to 10 billion. Here we go. And now we'll sell him off. Pay off our loan. We still have a big market share, 50.7. Guess I should have checked that before I sold him. Here's Cytogen down here. I guess that's good enough. We shouldn't lose money. We shouldn't lose any lawsuits, and it should be... Oh, crap. What can we do here? I want to do it again. Let's hold off. Let's hold off. We'll do this again like next quarter or something if we have to. All right. So what is it? 50.7. All right. Let's go to Phelps Dodge. Same situation, but not quite as dire. A lot of people without credit, so everybody's growing negative, with the exception of Elval Aluminum here. So 50.1 is what we're expecting for next year. So I guess this is fine. Plus our return's better. So we're good on that one. It'd be even better if the price of gold goes up. And now let's look at Sears Holdings. 50.7. So So we're dropping by 0.5 percentage point per year. Everybody's growing negative except for Dillard's. We'll just leave this one too. Got plenty of cash to help buoy up our earnings. Alright, so we're going to just hold off on those two. And all the ones that we had that were over 50%, they were all already growing negative. So now we're going to check all the ones that are between 45% and 50%. We're going to make sure that they are not in danger of becoming a monopoly at 50% or more. Just want to make sure that we're growing negative in any situation where we need to. So let's start at Burlington Resources. You're growing negative, and so is everyone else. We're spending 16% on R&D, and we need to raise our dividend. So let's make our dividend $2. And did we not have him sell short oil? Who sold short oil? Okay, he sold it short. Sworn it didn't say. I'm losing money on that. On these little ones here. As the price shot back up. Wonder if we can sell it short some more. Okay, we're back to not being able to find anybody. Well, we need to get a few more. Got another 8,000 or so. Okay, so he's growing negative. Let's go to HeartMax. Here, 47.3. We're going at negative 10, and it's projected to still be 47.3 a year from now. And with the demand growth up, our returns should go up, so we can turn this around. These guys are all in bad shape credit-wise. Well, it's a couple of ones that are okay. Motorola and Siemens. But that's good, though. So we're all right there. Let's go to NBC. We currently have 48.5. A year from now, we're going to have 49, growing at a negative 5%. So let's drop that to negative 10. And that brings our market share down by 0.1%, which is perfect. And this is growing positive, and these guys growing negative, and the returns being decent. We'll continue to grow negative until we get down to like 45, and then we'll put a growth figure on it. So we're good there. So let's go to DO. Already growing at a negative 10 and dropping at 0.2% per year. Again, pretty much everybody out of credit with a couple of exceptions. Demand here is 0, but our returns are finally in the 20s. Let's go to McDonald's. We're going to go from 48.8 to 46.1. So that's a pretty drastic drop. Do I want to grow? Do I want to downsize that aggressively? Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's going to take us a year to get down to this, and then next year we can grow positive, get ourselves a premium, and then sell him. So, yeah, I'm okay with that. That's fine. All right, Toyota Europe. This is one where we might have some other bankruptcies to deal with. Just one. All right, we've got 49. Well, no, that's the wrong one. 46.6. We're growing negative, and yet our share is going to go up. Is that right? Oh, 49.6. This is a typo. Okay. 49.6, and growing at negative 10, we're going to drop 0.4 of a percentage point every year. Demand growth is down to negative 7. So let's sell BMW off. Let's contribute a portion of him to somebody. Who will we give it? Let's give it to Deutsche Holdings. All right, and Toyota Europe. 0.4 of a percentage point per year. So we'll just wait for this to turn around. Everybody's kind of out of credit already. We'll just grow negative until the conditions fix themselves. And it looks like ADM's just going to have to lose money on wheat. All right, let's go to Del Webb. 49.4, which is what we have now. Everybody's downsizing at the maximum rate. We may have some bankruptcies here if they don't turn around quick. So we're going to have to watch for any bankruptcies by these guys. And that's the last one. So they're all growing negative, which is good. Okay, so I'd like to buy some more index futures if I can. I don't know that we'll find counterparties, but we're going to try. I'm going to have ING do it. Three contracts and he can't find a counterparty. I think we've got all we can. We did get 250 contracts. Alright, so our short bond is up. Oil's still elevated. Gold has dropped to 1100. And these are through the roof. Let's go over to ADM. Losing a lot of money on these now. Crossed our fingers and it didn't work out, but we had the cash. So anyway, let's see. The next thing we want to do is add some more stocks to INGG and TMFI. Because I don't think we're going to find counterparties on any more options. We've kind of gone from one extreme to the other in that everybody had cash and credit and now nobody does. So we're down to 824 companies in the database. And if we look at how many have a credit rating of BBB or better, last time we looked at this was 2 episodes ago, and I think it was like 600 and something. I forget how many exactly. Now we're down to 392. So an entire third of the companies have dropped to below a BBB credit rating. And let's see, we own 46 plus 6. We own 52 stocks, not counting the bankruptcies over at the bank. How many have a AAA? 32. So basically, we own all the AAA companies. Let's see. Own it, don't own it. Own it, don't own it, don't own it. Don't own it. So even our companies are mostly double A. And we have most of these, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So out of these 32, only 7 of them. There's only 7 that aren't ours. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go over to the bank and just clear out his bankruptcies. There may be some, like Yum Brands, in industries that we want to re-enter. So let's take a look. Mitsubishi Motor Company is in here with Toyota, and he's trading at an ungodly price. So, but I don't mind paying that because it goes to the bank. So Toyota, I think, has a lot of money. Yeah. So let's buy that from the bank and just merge it, liquidate it. Let's have him buy gold as well. And we're going to buy 10,000 units. And let's see who else has cash. Tochu. Okay, so let's put down Toyota. He's got gold now. Tochu, we'll have him buy gold. I think RakeM still has 1.8 trillion, so let's buy some more. HMX. Let's have him buy gold. Let's make it 40,000 on him so he doesn't have to borrow. Well, I have to borrow to pay his taxes. Alright, so who else? Berkshire Hathaway has it. Nick Peripherals has it. Burlington Resources. He doesn't have a whole lot of cash. So let's buy 10,000 units. All right, United Technologies. So Real Networks and Fujitsu. Here's Real Networks. He has 50 billion. So he could afford 5,000. Fujitsu can afford 3,000. Almost. Gonna borrow a little bit. All right, let's have Mitsubishi Electric buy some too. He's got 100 billion. Let's make it 8,000. Ford doesn't have any money, so I guess that's it. Everybody else pretty much out of cash, except for the insurance companies. Bank's down to $1 trillion. Maybe General Electric. All right, we'll have General Electric buy some too. Let's see, he's got 100 billion, so we'll have him buy 8,000. Okay, getting back to what we were doing. Let's go over the bank and look at the next bankruptcy. Okay, so let's look at John Deere and Company. They're in heavy machinery. We've got too big of a market share already. Some other people went broke. Let's see, where's Komatsu? Right here. He had 40%, but somebody went broke, and now he's got 51.9. And he's growing at a -10, and he's still projected to have 51.9 at the end of next year. So let's buy John Deere away from the bank, give him 10% of our assets, and sell him off. So 10% would be that much. So 46.7. The good news is that the returns here should be better. Okay, let's go back to the bank. Yum Brands is in rest. Oh, he's a holding company now. He owns stock of Kentucky Fried Chicken. But that's controlled by AIG. He's losing money, and he has swaps. So let's have Yum Brands sell that and pay off his loan. So now we have a shell company that I will buy from the bank, and I'll use him to do, why do I have a negative? I'll use him to do futures transactions. I guess that must be because I paid my tax, because it's March 31st. All right, let's buy Yum Brands from the bank. Wow, he was trading pretty high. Okay, so we'll add Yum Brands up here in between the next two episodes. I got to sell off my gold anyway before I can do anything with him. All right, so back over to the bank. Bergson Shipping. Here we got 41% already. So we don't really want him. So let's just sell him off. Club Med is in hotels and casinos. We have Las Vegas Sands there. Club Med's trading at a premium, so let's sell him. Universal Health. Here we have a big enough share as well. So let's sell that one off also. He's big enough. Let's give him to Deutsche Holdings, or 10% of it, and then sell him so we don't take the loss. Or the additional loss, I guess I should say. All right, Fuji Photo. We don't have anything here. And there's plenty to choose from, plenty ripe for the pickings. So that's 22, 34, 39, plus this one would be 41. So we would need about 30 billion to get all of that done, plus another 30 in debt recovery. So let's go to INGG. Have him buy Harley Davidson. Give him 60 billion, or well, I guess 30 billion. I forget what the symbol is for Fuji Photo. There it is. All right, we don't have quite enough money to buy this one, so we'll go into debt buying him, and then we'll send our growth rate to -10. We'll have INGG give us some more money to pay back the rest of our loan. All right, so we need another 5 billion, and we're going to sell our Hasbro stock. We got a lot of defaults on swap agreements from people going broke. All right, let's cancel our swaps here. Okay, so we are reasonably competent. The industry is improving and we have 42%. So let's grow at -10 till the returns come up. Reasonably competent. Biggest spenders right here at 7, so let's make ours 8. And let's give ourselves a 2% dividend of $1.60. Okay, so that's done. Let's go back to the bank. All we have now is Deutsche Bank Holdings. He's got stock of Nokia, and Nokia is in Global Telecom. We've got too big a market share here, and he's trading at less than his worth. Deutsche Telekom is also trading less than he's worth. So let's just sell it off. It's not worth enough money to be really worried about it. Okay. So our net worth dropped another 6 billion or 5.5 or whatever. And interest rates up, and none of the commodities are moving at all. The ones that are moving in the wrong direction. So we're running out of time today, so this is where we're going to end it. Wish it was on a better set of news, but once again, you know, everything's just kind of sitting here and doing nothing. I mean, it's just a whole lot of doing nothing. We had a glimmer of hope a couple episodes when the interest rate policy changed to easing, but now it's gone back to neutral. So we're going to have another who knows how long period of high interest rates. You know, we had what, 2.5 years last time, and probably it will inch up and probably just remain stagnant for who knows how long. But we'll continue to make money on reforming the industries and on commodities, and our interest rate swaps are doing great. For instance, RakeM Bank here just took in another 135 billion. So we're doing fine. All of our companies have money. It's just we don't have a premium. And we just have to wait for that to turn around. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share. And until next time, this is RakeM saying, have a good one.